welkom terug bij Gran Turismo 7 en welkom bij patch 1.7. We hebben in de vorige update 4 nieuwe hypercars toegevoegd in het spel. De Ferrari, BMW, Porsche, Peugeot en ook nog eens een Porsche safety car. Dus echt een hele uitgebreide update. En ik ben positief verrast dat we eindelijk de moderne hypercars hebben in dit spel. Ik dacht eerst dat we nog even moesten wachten totdat Le Mans Ultimate naar de consoles zou komen. Maar we hebben gewoon 4 nieuwe hypercars in Gran Turismo 7. En natuurlijk ook mooi getimed met de 24 uur van Le Mans. Waar ik bij was afgelopen weekend. Ik ben net weer teruggekomen vandaag. De tweede keer dat ik bij Le Mans ben geweest. En het was echt een ontzettend mooi weekend. We zagen de nummer 7 Toyota winnen. Met onder andere natuurlijk Nick de Vries. En ook Kamui Kobayashi en Mike Conway. Dus ja, mooi om deze auto's die we nu in beeld zien in het echt gezien te hebben. Afgelopen weekend. Maar we gaan er nu eventjes mee rijden. Dus ik ben erg benieuwd hoe deze auto's voelen en klinken. Want ja, het zijn echt ontzettend gave dingen. Ik ben echt een heel groot fan van WEC, van het endurance racen en ook van de 24 uur van Le Mans. We hebben allereerst hier de BMW. Ik weet niet zeker wat ik ervan vind qua design, maar ik vind hem wel heel gaaf. Maar ik vind het niet de mooiste, denk ik. Ik weet niet zeker wat ik vind van de grill, maar goed, dat is wel heel erg natuurlijk des BMW's. We hebben de Ferrari 499p. Ik vind de kleuren zijn natuurlijk mooi en ook de achtervleugel heel erg mooi. Maar, ondanks dat ik groot Ferrari liefhebber ben, vind ik dit qua design eigenlijk de mooiste. De Peugeot 9X8. Toevallig ook nog eens de auto met nummer 93. Maar qua design vind ik de Peugeot echt ontzettend fraai. En hetzelfde geldt natuurlijk voor het nummer. Ook die achterlichten. Echt heel vet. En ja, de Porsche is ook wel mooi natuurlijk. En deze Porsche is ook wel mooi trouwens. De GT3 safety car. De 911 Turbo S. Ja, de Porsche is gewoon heel erg clean. Beetje subtiel. De Peugeot is gewoon ontzettend fraai qua design. En ook erg uniek met natuurlijk de verlichting en ook die achterlichten met die recht uitgesneden lijnen. En ja, de Ferrari is gewoon Ferrari. Het is Italiaans. Het is herkenbaar. En de BMW is gedurfd. Ja, zo zou ik ze allemaal omschrijven. Oké, laten we verder gaan. We hebben ook natuurlijk de nieuwe daily race. Ik had verwacht dat ze iets zouden doen met Le Mans of met de hypercars. Maar we hebben Tokyo Expressway en Sardinia. En Barcelona. We hebben natuurlijk wel Formule 1 gehad afgelopen weekend. Met de allereerste overwinning in het rood voor Lewis Hamilton. Met toevallig ook nog eens een Mercedes en een McLaren naast hem op het podium. En een volledig Brits podium. We hebben daily race A, dus met de Alpine A110. We hebben daily race B, Tokyo Expressway groep 3. Met een 1000% bonus. En Sardinia in groep 4. Ik vind het jammer, ze hadden iets moeten doen. Ik hoopte echt, ik was natuurlijk in Le Mans. En ik zat gewoon even te denken aan Gran Turismo 7 en dat ze deze auto's hebben toegevoegd. En ik hoopte echt van, dat ze gewoon een Le Mans endurance race met de hypercars hebben toegevoegd in daily race 7 volgende week. Dat zou gewoon gaaf zijn. Gewoon een endurance race van een uur lang of zoiets. Met ook een dag- en nachtcyclus. Gewoon, ze kunnen zoveel doen met dit spel. Dynamisch weer kunnen ze doen. Maar nee, we hebben een groep 4 race en een groep 3 race op circuits die heel erg mid zijn. Zonder variabele omstandigheden. Het is gewoon gemiste kans. We hebben ook de Nations Cup. Die begint toevallig binnenkort. En we hebben in ieder geval nog de online time show op Le Mans. Dat is dan wel weer fijn. Nations Cup. Oh ja, we hebben natuurlijk... Trouwens, kijk, oké, dit is één ding. We hadden een Le Mans race in de Nations Cup in groep 1. Maar ja, dit was tijdens Le Mans, dus die kon ik niet doen, want ik was in Le Mans. Die race had ik echt willen doen anders. Dat was natuurlijk op zaterdag de 13e, op de dag van de start van Le Mans. Dus deze race was letterlijk tegelijkertijd. Op de Le Mans circuit, ook nog eens zonder chicanes. En in de groep 1 klasse. Dus ik denk dat daar de hypercars in zijn gebruikt. Ik heb alleen nog niks van gezien eigenlijk. Dus ja, dit hadden ze moeten doen, maar dan in de daily race, naar mijn mening. Dat iedereen een kans had om het te doen. Laguna is zeker met F3500, dat is echt insane. Red Bull in groep 3, oké. Troll Mountain weten we nog niet. Grand Valley ook niet. Ze zoeken met een L12, dat is ook wel echt heel bizar. Dat wordt een hele langzame race. Ja, Troll Mountain en Grand Valley zijn nog wel leuk. Ik ben benieuwd wat voor auto's dat in vrede zal worden. Ik heb precies 400 races op de teller staan. Maar het is wel fijn dat we de online time trial hebben in de groep 1 klasse. Dat zal ongetwijfeld natuurlijk bewust zijn gedaan. Maar daarmee kunnen we ook de hypercars eventjes huren. Om ze allemaal uit te kunnen testen voordat ik een keuze hoef te maken welke ik ga kopen. Want ze zijn namelijk bijzonder duur. 3 miljoen per stuk. Hey, Jensen Randall heeft een 3.26.1. En we hebben Praying Stingray, a.k.a. Luke Smith. Met een 3.24.3. Natuurlijk, ja, deze time was heel populair. Heel veel van mijn vrienden hebben deze al gedaan. Matthias Zeta. Staat er ook bij. Joep Overbeke. Stef Borsboom. Nico Bellic. En Yannick Verpeten. 3.21 is het wereldrecord. Ja. Kai de Bruin zet er natuurlijk bij, zoals altijd. José Serrano. Titsny. Q Geerveld, die ken ik niet. Netjes. Sammy Snake. Die ken ik ook. Oké. Ja, kijk. Ik kan ook gewoon alle hypercars meteen kopen. Ik ben echt heel erg geneigd om dat te doen eigenlijk. Maar... ja, laten we dat gewoon doen. Uiteindelijk ga ik ze toch wel kopen. Brand Central. Oké, allereerst. Als eerste hypercar ga ik de Ferrari uittesten. Ik hou echt van deze 499p. Er is ook een nieuwe Thrustmaster uitgekomen trouwens. Dat werd aangekondigd, ja, volgens mij gereleased, zeg maar, toen ik in Le Mans was bij de Thrustmaster stand. En er werden daar meteen dus modellen van verkocht. En er worden maar 499 van gemaakt. Dus dat is wel echt een zeldzaam ding. Maar ja, ik heb natuurlijk geen Thrustmaster meer. Dus ik heb er niet zoveel aan. Wel cool dat ze het hebben gemaakt. Hier. Oh, ik vind het zo gaaf om te zien in Gran Turismo. De 499p. Echt een zeer fraaie auto. En natuurlijk de winnaar van 2023 en 24 en 25. Natuurlijk vorig jaar niet in het fabrieksteam. Met AF Corse. In de geel met rode kleurstelling. In plaats van rood met gele. Ja, ik vind het echt een mooie machine. Oké. Nou, het is een vierwielaandrijver. Alleen natuurlijk, het is eigenlijk achterwielaandrijving. Met de verbrandingsmotor. En het is het hybride systeem wat op de voorwielas zit aangesloten. Dus het is natuurlijk een soort van vierwielaandrijving, maar het is geen permanente vierwielaandrijving. In principe natuurlijk, qua rijden voelt het als achterwielaandrijving. Gewoon in de tractiezones. En pas natuurlijk als het hybride systeem inkikt, heb je vierwielaandrijving. Ja, dit is wel erg onrealistisch. Een hypercar op de Nürburgring. Ja, eerst is 65. Ja, in de 100ste editie van Le Mans. Oké. Laten we hem aan onze garage toevoegen. Even 3 miljoen lichter. 3000 collectiepunten. En niveau 59. Ja, aan de ene kant, we hebben de online timeshow. Alleen dit is overdag. En weet je wat? Ik heb meer zin om in de nacht te rijden, dus ik ga gewoon eventjes naar de normale timeshow. Die online timeshow doe ik nog wel later een keertje. Wereldcircuits. Oké, laten we voor nu zonsondergang doen. Dit vind ik zo vet. Hier was ik gewoon nog gisteren. Gewoon hier in deze tribune die je hier rechts ziet. Bij 16T, om precies te zijn. Dat is voor... Ja, volgens mij is dat precies de tribune die je hier ziet. Of T16 is het. Het was zeg maar naast de hoofdtribune. Ja, dat is echt heel cool. Oké, zonsondergang. Oké, eerste test met de 599p. De 499. Natuurlijk. Hier zijn we in Le Mans. Het is de Ferrari 499p Hypercar. Zelfs het nummer wat licht geeft. Kan je dat ook maken met een custom livery eigenlijk? Of kan dat niet? Dat is wel heel ziek. Volgens mij kan dat niet. Dat kan alleen maar als je een standaard livery hebt. Ik vind ook de standaard livery echt heel mooi. Eigenlijk vind ik dat je met een hypercar gewoon de standaard livery moet houden. Ja. Ik moet wel even mijn rotatie goed zetten. Hier over het rechte stuk. Hier links was ik gewoon nog gisteren. Ik heb hier gisteren nog een auto zien rijden. Ik vind het zo mooi om hier weer gewoon 40 wild te zijn nu. Klinkt ook best wel mooi. Oh wow, de terugschakelgeluid klinkt ook vet zeg. De Dunlopbrug, dat is natuurlijk tegenwoordig de Goodyear-brug. Daar ben ik ook doorheen gelopen. Hier, Tertre Rouge. Daar ben ik ook geweest. Ik heb natuurlijk... Oh, een beetje gras. Ik heb hier zelfs gelopen trouwens op de vrijdag. Ja, het is zo vet. Hier de Mulsen. Straight op. Ah, het klinkt mooi. Ik hou van het geluid met terugschakelen. Eigenlijk zou ik ook zo graag, nu ik dit aan het doen, wat ik zo graag wil kopen, is PlayStation VR. Van wat ik ervan heb gehoord, natuurlijk Gran Turismo heeft volledig VR support en die ervaring zal ongetwijfeld echt heel indrukwekkend zijn. Want ik vind dit wel indrukwekkend op een 2D scherm. Hi Yassir, BMW is really the only one with good comfort feel. Okay, thanks for letting me know. And thanks for tuning in. Here after the Porsche curves. Oh, I overshot it a little bit. Yeah, I really love the fact that they've added these hypercars to the game. I really enjoyed the 24 hours of Le Mans as well. I was actually there, and I've completely overshot this bit here. Porsche on the sound. Okay, I'm gonna have to give that a go as well. I love the sound of the Ferrari when braking and shifting down. But yeah, it was amazing. It was the second time I've been to Le Mans. I was there last year too. For the start and for the finish, I was right here on the left on the grandstand. Right here at the T16, just after the normal grandstand, like the main grandstand. And just, you know, the entire atmosphere and just the entire experience really is really well organized as well. And just seeing the cars and hearing the cars and just soak up the atmosphere here through Tertre Rouge. I was there as well. I've even walked the track actually on Friday. The track is completely open for everyone to walk or cycle or run or skate or whatever. You can just do anything. Onto the Mulsanne straight. But yeah, even I think even as a non-racing fan, it would be enjoyable to go to Le Mans, to be honest. Like even the fan zone and all the restaurants and the shops, and just looking at cars that are being shown in the stands, like in the infield, just next to the paddock, and just also the way everything is crowded, but in a good way. Like it's not overcrowded. It's crowded in a cozy way, so to say. But nice, it would be amazing. Yeah, the Nürburgring 24 hours is also great. I've never been to the 24 hours. I've only been to the 12 hours with NLS. I've been to the Nürburgring twice. Also, a great circuit, the best circuit in the world, in my opinion, the Nürburgring. Yeah, it's the Mulsanne corner. I was here as well during the night and during the sunrise. I was right here on the left when the sun started to rise around 6 AM. It was here on the left over here. I had my own camping chairs with me. I actually fell asleep there for a second during the night. And just seeing the cars here on the straight just before they disappear behind the trees. Oh man, it's so cool that I actually was here literally yesterday. And to be honest, I was with two friends who I know from sim racing, from SRL. Tim Enting and Sander Dulis, and we just like last year had a hotel and a rental car, so we didn't actually stay at the track. But some of my other friends, like two of my other friends, who I know from work, they actually also went to Le Mans, and they stayed at the camping sites at the Porsche Curves. And then there's actually somebody else I know. There's actually a journalist from MotoGP World Superbikes, Henry Chu. He also was here at the 24 Hours on One, and he also actually stayed in the glamping area, also at the Porsche Curves, which is a bit more expensive. They have like the pre-set up tents with like actual beds in them and stuff like that. It's a bit more luxurious than the sort of primitive camping in your own tent. But I really think that I'm gonna go to Le Mans again next year, and I'm gonna actually go to the camping there instead of going to a hotel. Because I would love to have the experience of actually, actually staying at the track, and it might be a bit more primitive, but it's also less expensive. Well, apart from if you go for the glamping, that is more expensive. But yeah, I really want to sort of see that side of Le Mans as well, and also just be able to stay after the race and have a party and all that. I'm definitely gonna look into that for next year, because I really want to go again. Le Mans is such a cool experience. I am certain I'm gonna go to Le Mans again next year. I really think it's worth it. But yeah, I'm gonna buy the other cars as well in a second. I'm just cruising around really. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying this car. And the sound even, especially when braking and shifting down. It's a shame we don't have the Aston Martin Valkyrie in the game, because I think that's the best sounding car with the V12, and also the Cadillac sounds really nice. Yeah, the costs are relatively high. I think the general admission ticket is about 300 euros. And then if you want to have the grandstand supplement, it's about 200 euros extra. So if you want to be in the grandstand, it's going to be about 500 euros for a ticket. So I completely missed a breaking point there. Now, to be honest, I really think the grandstand ticket is worth it. Because last year I didn't have that. And if you don't have a grandstand ticket, it's impossible to go anywhere near the start-finish straight, because even the general admission areas are completely packed. And I think last year we were there like 3 hours before the start, and it was already completely full because everybody has already set up all of their camping chairs and stuff like that. Like, it's impossible to see the start if you don't have the grandstand supplement and also the finish. And now, of course, during the 24 hours, like you're probably only gonna be at the grandstand at the start and the finish, and maybe somewhere in between. But of course, you're not really gonna stay there, probably, because it's not really enjoyable. Me, you want to see the whole track, right? But just looking here because I was also here yesterday during the night. But the main thing is as well, like we were really lucky with the weather this year and last year because it was completely sunny, and also in the night it didn't rain. Now in the grandstands you have a roof in case it rains, and also you have a roof for the sun because it was really warm. It was about 28 degrees at some point, and you know, in the sun, if you're in the sun for too long, you're really gonna be melting away. And with the grandstand, you have seats with backrests. It's very comfortable actually, and also you have the roof over your head, which is really nice because the temperature was great in the shadow, but it was really warm in the sun. Now I've got to say the facilities are also really well done because there's like lots of water tap points around the track. You can just get water everywhere for free, and that's definitely needed because it's very warm. So yeah, I really think the grandstand made the experience a lot nicer. And also, oh man, just the start and the build up to the start with the music. That's of course a very well-known piece. I forgot the name of it, but just seeing the start and being able to look at in the pit lane as well, seeing the pit stops. I just think the grandstand is a really cool place to be, especially for the start and the finish, of course. And also there was the fireworks show over here at 12 o'clock midnight. No, I haven't actually. I haven't played Le Mans Ultimate, but I'd love to. I'm really looking forward to that game coming to the consoles. Okay, let's go back and actually buy the other hypercars too, because I really want to test all of them. Alright, yeah, of course I'm just driving slowly, but I just want to test the car. I just missed out on the marathon. But it doesn't really matter because it's already the next day, of course, yeah. The 7 is kind of starting to become boring, especially the dailies. Yeah, I get that, to be honest. Because I think GT7 is a nice game, but indeed they could do so much more with the dailies. Even this week I was really hoping for them to like add a Le Mans race with maybe the new hypercars. They could add like a really long race or a race with dynamic weather or a day to night transition. But instead they came up with Group 4, so then yeah, Group 3 at Tokyo Expressway. It's such a missed opportunity. I think they're too conservative with the daily races. Alright, let's go back into the garage. I mean, to Grand Central. It really made you learn everything about racing. Yeah, I heard that a lot. Of course, GT7 is really for a lot of us motorsport fans, the introduction into cars, and of course you have the license test, which really teach you the basics of racing and racing lines and all that. So the thing is, I didn't really grow up with Gran Turismo, so I was already somewhat familiar with racing and motorsports when I started playing Gran Turismo on the PS3. But in a way, also GT really introduced me to lots of racing-related things. So which car should we go with next? I'm gonna let you decide actually. But I agree, yeah, because you learn the basics of, you know, accelerating, braking, cornering, racing lines, different kinds of, you know, technical parts like racing lines into a chicane or into a hairpin, or with elevation change and, you know, asphalt or off-road or snow, rain. You really get to learn everything, really, and it makes you really perfected to get the gold times. It's a good learning school. Now, I really want to check out the Peugeot actually, because in my opinion, I don't really have anything with Peugeot. Okay, we're gonna go with the BMW then. In my opinion, I'd love to know your opinion, just here, but I think the Peugeot 9X8 is the best looking hypercar of the field in terms of the design. And actually, I also like the white and lime green color scheme, and I also really like the number. Coincidentally, 93 is my favorite number. But I think even the tail lights there and just the design of the car, I think it looks great. But apart from that, I have no affinity with Peugeot at all. But yeah, I really love the hypercar. So, and it's a nice coincidence that the number is 93 because that's my favorite number. Maybe you can guess why. Yeah, the BMW is definitely unique. But aesthetically not as nice, in my opinion. Okay, let's go with the BMW. We're gonna save the Peugeot. Oh yeah, the old one. Right. The 908. Alright, okay. I mean, the BMW is also very interesting. Yeah. And I like the colors as well. Of course, it was actually leading for a long time. During the 24 hours. I think Toyota did really well with the strategy. They pitted really early in the first stint, which surprised me. And then, but they were, of course, because of that, out of sync with the rest of the field, really. And because of that, they were really able to capitalize when the safety car was deployed, like around midnight. Because that allowed them to stay out and get to the front. And that really gained them track position, and that really contributed to winning on later on. With Kamui Kobayashi, Nick de Vries and Mike Conway in the number 7 Toyota. Oh, you didn't watch it? Ah, what a shame. You missed out. How can you forget about Le Mans? Okay, let's buy the BMW M Hybrid V8. I mean, maybe you're not active on social media and things like that. Level 60. But surely if you've got like Instagram, or if you read motorsport news, or if you know people in motorsport or whatever, like I can't imagine forgetting about Le Mans. I mean, it's everywhere, even in the newspapers, even on TV. But I mean, yeah. I don't mean it to criticize you. I'm just trying to understand how you could possibly miss such a prestigious event. Yeah, let's select it now. Okay, let's go into the World Circuits again. I mean, okay, yeah, true. That is a good excuse. There is the World Cup, of course. Lots of sport news is focused on that. Okay, let's go back to Le Mans here. And yeah, of course, we've already got the car selected. Okay. Shall we? Actually, one thing which I noticed, random fact of the day, of course, the 24 Hours of Le Mans started on the Saturday, which was the 13th of June, 2026. Now, this piece of information is actually false because the track length in Le Mans is actually 13,626 meters, not 13,629. So GT7 is lying to us. You can look it up on Wikipedia. And of course, the date of the race starting was 13/6/26. The same numbers as the length of the race. But according to GT7, that wasn't the case. So who do we trust? Do we trust the Le Mans official website and Wikipedia and ChatGPT, or Polyphony? To be honest, I am gonna go for the first one that I mentioned. Anyway, that's the first time I've noticed that. So shall we try midnight, perhaps? Yeah, let's go for midnight actually, because it is actually midnight, pretty much. It's beyond midnight. There's something magical about Le Mans as night. We can't really check out the interior because it's so dark, but anyway. So this is the BMW V8. I mean, we can't really see it, but it doesn't matter. Let's check it out. So actually, of course it's a V8, but I don't think it sounds as nice as the Ferrari, to be honest. But it's certainly not bad. A bit more twitchy in braking. Delta Rouge. I was there on the right as well, actually, on the inside of that Rouge, which is a really cool spot, also because there's a big screen on the other side. I actually saw Antonio Fuoco spinning his Ferrari there. That was right where we were located. Oh yeah, you mentioned the cockpit view. Yeah, the view is good indeed, but yeah, the sound is kind of underwhelming. Yeah, I'd love to do an endurance race with this, because of course we do have the 24 hours of Le Mans and the power pack, but it's the vintage Le Mans race with Circuit de la Start without the Mulsanne chicanes, and also with the old Group C cars, which is really cool. I mean, I love the old Group C cars, but I would actually love to also do a realistic modern 24 hours of Le Mans race, even with multi-class as well, but I think the only way to do that on this game would be to do it in custom race. Now the downside of that is that the AI is a bit worse in custom race, of course, because you can select the Sophia AI, but it's the Sophia AI 2.1 instead of the 3.0 in the power pack. And also, one sort of pet peeve about custom race. With one, there's a lot of tracks good for it in this game. Yeah, okay, but at least there's Le Mans. But indeed, apart from that, I mean, you can do all of the WEC tracks with the LMP1 cars or the hypercars. Like Spa suited for it. Brazil as well. It's hard to see really in the dark, but what it was all about. Yeah, Le Mans and Spa are the most suited. Of course, there is an Imola as well, but that's not in the game, and Qatar and Bahrain, it's all not in the game. But yeah, my pet peeve about custom race is there is no build-up. Like, I really like in the power pack how you have like the grid sequence before you start the race, which builds up a bit of excitement. Whereas with the custom race, you're just getting thrown into the race straight away, which feels a bit weird for, you know, doing an endurance race. I would love to have the option to do a formation lap, because you have that in Project Cars 2, for example. And also things like not being able to actually manually control your car in the pit lane, not having a cooldown lap. That is something I really like about some other race games like Project Cars. I would love to have that in Gran Turismo, but especially the build-up. I didn't get the power pack. You didn't get it? Like you didn't get the reasoning, or you didn't buy it? $20. I get one ultimate. Yeah, okay, yeah, that is fair. Okay, now we can see it a bit better in the light, of course. Let's go on the Dunlop Bridge. Yeah, it looks cool, definitely. It's not really my taste. I don't think it's the best looking hypercar, but none of them look bad. So we can actually see the interior better now too in the wheel. Alright. Yeah, I get you didn't buy it. It's relatively expensive, I guess. And also, it's really only if you really like, you know, campaign mode sections of racing games. Like, if you don't really care for racing against AI, then I guess it's not really worth it. I think it is though, because I think it really adds a lot of extra content to the game. And I enjoy racing with the AI because the Sophia is actually really good. They actually race you. They're quick. They you know, they go for moves. They defend. They are so much better than the regular AI. And I think they've added some interesting races. And you know, I think it's a decent update, but it could be better. And I like the pre-race sequences. I wish we could like turn that on in a custom race. Because as much as it seems like a small detail, it makes a difference to me, especially in an endurance race. Okay, let's go back and burn even more credits and get the Peugeot. I'm gonna be completely broke by the end of the stream. I didn't mean to go into the garage actually. I'm gonna go bankrupt. These cars are really expensive. Okay, let's go with the Peugeot. Look at that. I love this thing. I was almost considering buying Peugeot merchandise when I was in Le Mans. Because I just love this car so much. And because of the number 93. Yeah, multi-class, exactly. Again, a thing which you could do in Project Cars 2. And also bigger grids. Again, you can do that in Project Cars 2. You can have 32 cars. And multi-class. Now, of course, you can make multi-class, but there's only... You can't actually classify them in multiple classes. And... yeah, the AI is also bad at navigating them. And yeah, I really wish GT7 would do more of it, that kind of thing. Focus more on the endurance stuff. Because it has potential. I mean, the graphics are great. The dynamic weather and the way the rain comes down and the puddles form on the track, and even the day to night transition, like that is all really well done. The ingredients are there. They just need to polish the AI to be able to avoid back markers in a way that doesn't slow them down too much, and yeah, just improve the regular AI in custom race and improve the settings for custom race and just make it, or just add more racings to the campaign or something. I don't know. Yeah. Peugeot 9X8. Let's add it to the collection. Number 93. Level 61. Yeah, exactly. They do have all the ingredients. Nice. Brand invitation for Lamborghini. Yeah, I want it to be more like Project Cars. Have a formation lab. Have manual pit stops. Realistic damage as well. That's also a thing which doesn't exist in this game. That's such a big thing in endurance racing, isn't it? Like having to keep it clean to not damage the car, and losing a lot of time in the pit stops when you do actually damage it. Or even risking retiring and having to retire from the race. I mean, that is all in Project Cars. I keep mentioning that game. I'm a bit of a Project Cars fan. But in Project Cars, the damage is really realistic. You can really beat up the car and bend the steering. And you can always try to make it back to the pits. But sometimes the car is just too damaged or you lose a wheel or something like that. And there's literally no way to turn it back. And then, you have to just shut off the car and retire. That is so realistic. And also, the AI actually make mistakes in Project Cars. They're actually kind of reckless, which again is a part of racing. I mean, I'm sure that every race car driver who has been involved in a handful of racing has been involved in a wreck or has had to avoid one. It's part of racing, and you just don't see it in Gran Turismo. Especially part of endurance racing. Although I've got to say, Le Mans is actually pretty clean. There weren't that many incidents. The Mentai Porsche, I actually had the biggest crash around the night stint. With the Turkish driver, I can't remember his name, one of the two Turkish drivers, who were completely lost it. Very unusual mistake on the exit of the chicane. And apart from that, a couple of drivers who went off, but no shocking crashes. And very little reliability issues as well. Okay, let's go to time trial again. And let's go for sunset, because it's a bit clearer to see. Okay, let's now test out the Peugeot 9X8. Let's first have a look. So they've mounted the bonnet camera right on top of the air intake. It looks a bit odd with that hole in the middle. But luckily I don't use bonnet cam. Yeah, lovely stuff. Right, second for a spin. Let's see what it sounds like. That's a wheel spin. Yeah, it does look good, doesn't it? Is that a bit early there? Again, the sound is alright, but still, in terms of sound, I prefer the Ferrari 499P. Is there a way how I can see the battery charge, actually? I don't think there is, right, on the wheel? To the first Milsen chicane. You can't see anything when you turn with that big steering wheel. Yeah, you could point actually, indeed. It's a bit hard to see. Milsen corner. Yeah, actually, it sounds a bit similar to the BMW. From what I can remember. Imagine it doesn't have to do an online race. I just got completely reset to like 500 meters back. Are you gonna watch a World Cup match? Nice. Well, enjoy that. Thanks for coming by. I really appreciate it, and enjoy watching the World Cup, Yassir. Have a good one. Okay, we've done a lap with the Peugeot as well. So that leaves us with one more car remaining. And then, well, of course, there's a safety car as well, but yeah. I'm not that excited about it. I mean, it's a nice touch to actually have the Le Mans safety car. I mean, I'm just gonna buy it as well, just for the collection. We might just take it for a spin, just for the sake of it. En ook ga ik even terug naar Nederlands commentaar. Porsche is de laatste van de hypercars. Ik vraag me af of de andere hypercars, zoals de Aston Martin, de Cadillac en de Toyota, die natuurlijk zelfs heeft gewonnen, of die ook nog toegevoegd gaan worden in toekomstige updates. Kijk, ik klaag niet, ik vind deze update geweldig, maar ja, als mens wil je natuurlijk altijd weer meer. De Porsche 963. Oh shit, ik ben echt bijna failliet. Oh mijn god, ik had nog maar 2,5 miljoen over naar dit. Wat erg. Wel een dure update, man. Ze noemen het gratis updates, maar je betaalt wel heel veel digitaal geld ervoor. Wel niveau 62. Maat, ik had echt... Waar begon ik ook weer mee? 18 miljoen? Fucking hell. Ja, ik begon... Want ja, nou tenminste nee, ik had waarschijnlijk 14 miljoen, hè? 3, 6, 9, 12. Ja. Ja, oké. Damn. En hoe duur is die Porsche? Laten we dan ook meteen, als we dan toch bij Porsche bezig zijn, laten we dan die safety car er ook maar meteen aan toevoegen. Oké, dat is een koopje, 380.000. Ik kan echt niet geloven dat ik heb echt in jaren niet meer zo weinig credits gehad. Aan de ene kant ben ik nu bijna geneigd om dan helemaal gewoon mijn bankaccount te legen. Om het gewoon helemaal, om gewoon te kijken hoe erg blut ik mezelf kan maken. Oké, weet je, als we toch bezig zijn, hebben we nog iets leuks in de legendarische auto's of zoiets? Nu is de schade toch al gedaan. Hey, kijk, de Suzuki Pikes Peak. Wat een legendarisch ding is dat. Oké, de Renault Espace. Kijk, als die koop ben ik echt blut. Oh, de Mazda, die wil ik eigenlijk. Damn. De winnaar van de 1991 Grand Turismo van Le Mans. Alfa Romeo Giulietta. Ja, daar ben ik nu te arm voor. Mercedes 300 SL, daar ben ik zeker te arm voor. Damn. 20 miljoen, dat is de duurste auto in dit spel. Samen met een paar andere. Volgens mij de Fangio F1 wagen is ook zoiets. En de Ferrari 330 volgens mij ook. Ja, de S-Pass. Ik ben echt zo erg geneigd om nu een auto te kopen om gewoon te kijken hoe leeg ik mijn account kan maken. Maar terwijl ik erover nadenk, ga ik wel eens even cruisen in mijn Porsche. Kijk, je kan natuurlijk gewoon met de aangepaste race, zelfs met Sophie, gewoon natuurlijk een 24 uur race maken. Maar ja, of ik dat ga doen, ik weet niet of ik zo gek ben. Maar ik wil die in de powerpack wel echt gaan doen. Ja, ik weet het oprecht niet. Ik weet niet of de ervaring beter zou zijn in custom race dan in de powerpack. Op een manier wel omdat je je eigen race van kan maken, maar ook op een manier niet omdat de AI minder goed is. En ik heb het natuurlijk ook al net al gezegd, maar je hebt helemaal geen opbouw. In de powerpack heb je dat tenminste nog wel. Oké, genoeg gekletst. Tijdrit. Laten wij de zonsondergang houden, dat vind ik wel een erg mooie setting. Echt. Bij ook de zonsondergang. Ik zat bij Ted Rouge op het moment dat de avond begon en de zon onderging. En om gewoon ook daar de auto's gewoon over de heuvel naar beneden te zien komen terwijl je de zon ziet ondergaan. Het is echt prachtig. En dan, ik was bij Mulsanne Corner toen de zon weer opkwam in de vroege ochtend. En de zon kwam precies gewoon tussen een soort van opening in de bomen naar boven. Terwijl je gewoon de auto's door Mulsanne Corner ziet gaan. Het is sprookjesachtig mooi. Ik heb het op mijn Instagram verhaal gezet ook. Oh, ik heb de Porsche. Hey, dat was niet mijn bedoeling. Ja, ik zei dat ik ging toeren in mijn Porsche, maar ik bedoelde mijn andere Porsche. Ik wilde de hypercar. Die safety car, die geloof ik wel. Oké. Ik moet eerst even... Hier, andere auto. Ja. Moet ik me helemaal gaan zoeken. Ik doe eventjes sorteren op groep. Tim Bentingus tekst me dat Dutch water is peak. Waarom praat ik best Engels? Ik was voor mijn gevoel Engels aan het praten. Waar staat dat ding? Hier, de 963. Ik begon Engels te praten omdat ik een Engels bericht las. En omdat ik de laatste 2 dagen Engels heb gepraat natuurlijk. Ja, het ziet er goed uit. Ja, Nederlands water is inderdaad erg lekker. Vooral als je de hele tijd chloorwater drinkt daar in Frankrijk. Oké, de Porsche. Ik zit even niet op te letten. Oh, dit klinkt wel mooi. In ieder geval van buitenaf. Hi Andrew. So, I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome that they have added the new hypercars to the game. And I've just seen these cars in real life because I was at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I just came back today. So to see them in person and how to drive them in the game, it's fantastic. So let's give the Porsche a go here. I was right here in the grandstands at the start and at the finish of the race, and also briefly during the night period. Yeah, the Porsche sounds pretty nice actually. I definitely prefer this car over the BMW and the Peugeot in terms of sound. Through Terre Rouge. I was here on the right as well at some point during the evening. I actually saw Antonio Fuoco spin right here when he lost control of his Ferrari. A couple of hours into the race. Onto the Mulsanne straight. You created liveries. I think I just saw that message. Let's check that out then. Nice to hear. Oh, I shouldn't be on my phone while I'm on the Mulsanne straight. That's why you shouldn't text and drive. Oh, you did watch 24 Hours of Le Mans. Good to hear. Yeah, I watched it trackside. For the second time actually. Last year was my first time at Le Mans, but I can definitely recommend it. It's such a cool experience. I am pretty certain I'm gonna go to Le Mans again next year. I really think it's worth it. Really enjoyed the weekend. But I've got to say, we were quite lucky with the weather as well. For the last 2 years, actually. Into the Mulsanne corner. This is actually where I was during the early morning when the sun started to rise, right here on the left, with our camping chairs. Yeah, I can imagine. Did you repost? What actually? To the Porsche curves. This is over here to the right is where the camping site is at actually. Although I wasn't there, a couple of friends of mine were there. I actually stayed in the hotel instead of at the camping site, but I've got to say I actually really want to go to the camping place or maybe even the glamping if we go to next year, because I think even though it's maybe a little bit more primitive, I would love to actually stay at the track instead of having to go back to the hotel. Of course I didn't do that during the 24 hours, but you know, before and after the race. Oh, the liveries that other people made for the WEC. Alright, yeah. Okay. 333. Yeah, it's a nice and tidy looking car, the Porsche. What is your favorite actually out of all of the hypercars? Okay, a lap in this one too now. So that is every hypercar now tested out. So yeah, my favorite one in terms of sound is the Ferrari 499P. In terms of looks, my favorite one is the Peugeot 968. And in terms of feel, maybe even the Porsche, to be honest, the 963. And in terms of livery, the BMW, maybe. No, actually, yeah, I think overall the Peugeot is my favorite one. In terms of design, certainly, and in terms of the number as well, coincidentally. But yeah, I just love the Ferrari too. I mean, and also I'm just a big Ferrari fan. Love Ferrari in general, and of course yeah. Third is the Porsche 963 and Ferrari for sound. Yeah, okay, nice. Good shout. So while we're at it, let's just cruise around in our Porsche safety cars. We also have done that car. This really makes me want to buy VR, to be honest. I'd love to have PSVR 2 for this game. Actually, did they? They didn't add a race, or did they? I wish they would have added a racer and rolled circuits. And still just rolled touring car. Actually, let's get my other wheel here for the Porsche, because that wheel's all over the place here. Wait. Okay. I think that's a bit nicer for a road car, of course. To have a round wheel. Okay, let's take it for a spin. This is gonna feel a very different. I'm gonna have to adjust my degrees of rotation as well. Group 1 is in Le Mans, which you haven't unlocked. Oh, you have to, how do you unlock it then? Oh, so they did add something. How many laps is that? And how can you unlock it? So actually, can I drive back? I'm probably gonna get reset, aren't I? I can't even do a flick spin. Okay, wait, so let's do it over the grass then. I think I probably can't. Probably can't drive backwards, can I? 7 laps. Oh, in a cafe. Okay. I think, yeah, I'm probably gonna. You can basically see the main grandstand there, with the thing on top, and the one to the right is T16. That's where I was, like the first stand, which isn't the main grandstand, if that makes sense. It was very nice to have a roof over my head, because it was very warm in the sun. But at least it didn't rain. And of course I was only there for the start and the finish of the race. For like the first 2 hours, I'd say, and the final 2 hours. And then of course this is Tête Rouge. And for like the part of the race where sort of the sun started to come down, I was over here to the left. We had our own camping chairs as well, so we would just take them with us and just put it down somewhere. Most people do that, to be honest, because, you know, anywhere else on the track there's no stands or anything, so you have to bring your own seats, or you have to sit in the grass, which is also a possibility. Some just take like a picnic thing with them, or some sort of thing to cover them, or yeah, whatever. Something that makes them comfortable. I think it's nice to just pick up some camping seats, or camping chairs. Onto the Millsand Straight. Actually, there's the museum here to the left. I actually didn't get to visit it. It was just way too busy. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh wait, oh I braked a little bit late. Yeah, I'm gonna get reset. Okay. Of course, a road car needs a bit more time to slow down. I mean, yeah, you can take one, but you can just easily buy one for like 15 euros or something. Which is what we did. To the second Millsand chicane. not that much grip. I think, of course, I didn't buy any tires, so we're probably on the hards. Actually, I wonder. I used it when I went to see Northwest. Oh, you saw Northwest. That's amazing. That is such a spectacular event. I've never been there, but I know the layouts very well because I've ridden the Northwest 100 very often in the ride games. Nice reverse entry. This is exactly so. This spot over here. This is where I was during the sunrise, and the sun rose right between the trees there. Wait, how can I? I was basically over here, and I literally saw. Where was it? Right. I think the trees look different to real life a little bit. The trees changed. Because I was right here, but it's slightly different to real life. Or is it the perspective, maybe? Yeah, the trees really changed a bit, or they haven't completely modeled it, like... Ah, interesting. Anyway, it was really cool to see the sun rise here while seeing the cars come through the Mulsanne corner. And then, of course, you also have like all of the like campings over here and people having, you know, tents and caravans. I think it was over here when I had someone else also with our camping seats, and over here somewhere was the point where I fell asleep a one bit during the night stint. It was actually really cold at night as well. As warm as it was during the day, it was like near on 30 degrees, but then in the night it just cools down so much. But it's part of the experience. I was really waiting for the sun to come up again, for it to warm up. So when GTA comes out, they'll have the recent layout. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. There's so little grip. But then I shouldn't brake like this is a race car. At least there's a surface road here, or a bit of asphalt. So the Porsche curves, I feel like I slowed down so much. The Porsche curves is really the only place which I haven't visited, to be honest. But I'm definitely gonna do that next year. I'm probably gonna go to the camping site or the glamping. Because I would love to also have that experience. It really feels like driving on ice with this thing. But also I wonder, right, I've watched some of your videos and your live streams, and I noticed, I think I even mentioned in one of my comments, I noticed you always drive from the... Where's my button? I don't know. I didn't even know how to change cameras. This one, the bumper view. And I can understand it maybe if you would use a wheel, because you can clearly see stuff, but in my opinion, this is the worst view in GT7 because I really dislike the UI. I also dislike the virtual mirror, and I especially dislike the fact that you just can't see anything of the car. Like that would just annoy me so much because I want to at least have like some sort of reference. It feels like, and especially on a controller, I mean, I'm not criticizing you. I'm just wondering why this is your preferred camera position. Because especially on a controller, this would feel like you can't even see that you're driving a car. It's like you're flying a drone or something like that. And then I do get people using the bonnet view because you can see more clearly. You're a bit higher up. It's a bit easier also to raise wheel to wheel. And at least you can see a part of the car. So I wouldn't really mind using this view, apart from the fact it's very unrealistic. And then, well, third person is even more weird if you're using a wheel, but I would understand if you're using a controller. So yeah. But for some reason I can't stand the bumper view. But yeah, maybe that's just me. Let's actually do a lap here and try and stay on the track. So yeah, also just being able to look into the pit lane like on the stand, it's so cool. And I was literally right next to this Michelin thing. I've literally walked here because of course on Friday the track is open, so I was literally here like 2 days ago. It's so cool. I've even been in the pit lane too, and I was right here in this stand somewhere. Literally about, what is it? Maybe 35 hours ago or something. I was here. Okay, let's do a lap. I did 8 minutes 30. Yeah, of course I get it's your opinion. Yeah. But don't you want to see a part of the car when you're playing the game? Because I noticed that at some points during your Nürburgring race with the Subaru, I think, you did sometimes switch it to bonnet view, but then you switched it back to bumper view. And also here, well, you can't really see it, but at some point I was like over there at Tête Rouge, well, actually a bit further back. I was like over there to the left here. Basically, pretty much here. I get reset. Where am I? Oh, I'm back a little bit there. Right. It's a shame you can't actually free roam and just drive backwards. Yeah, this view. Well, it's pretty low, but right. How do I change camera again? There we go. Yeah, that's a bit more clear. Seeing the sun come down and seeing the cars come down from the hill there where you have like Musée and into Tête Rouge. Such a cool spot as well. Yeah, just wanted to show that. But yeah, I do actually like the bonnet view. I always enjoy it when other YouTubers use that view because it's nice to watch from my opinion. But yeah, even the bumper cam annoys me when I'm watching videos. For some reason I just really dislike it. Just because you can't see the car, that's just the main thing. I use road cam on rally events. Okay. Okay, let's complete this lap. Actually, I do want to have a look at a cafe to see what race they've added. Also, so the Porsche is your favorite hypercar, but what is actually your favorite... Hang on. I really can't drive to save my life. Let's actually restart and actually try and go for a proper lap. There we go. What is your favorite road car? And your favorite GT3 car? I would love to know. Okay, I'm really gonna try not to break myself this time. Yeah, that's a hard thing, I can imagine. I'm sorry for the difficult question. Also, do you have Instagram actually? Because if you drop your handle, I'll give you a follow on there. I've touched the grass. At least we've called it. Yeah, 7th gear is almost unnecessary, to be honest. Okay, at least I was early enough on the brakes this time. Ford Mustang. Of course, yeah, the new one is not in GT7. But I didn't get to read the rest. Oh, you bought Project Motor Racing? Nice. I haven't actually really seen much from that game yet. And I really love Project Cars, and especially 1 and 2. 3 not so much. I've played a lot of Project Cars too, and I've heard mixed reactions on Project Motor Racing, although I would really love to check it out too, definitely. I'm trying to take it so easy and I nearly lost it again. At least it's realistic. I'm basically driving at about the pace that the safety car would do. Oh, thanks, Andrew. I really appreciate you tuning in. Your favorite road car is a Bugatti, isn't it? I'm gonna read your message properly in a sec. But, good shout, actually. Oh, too tight. But yeah, really nice of you to come by, and thanks for the chat. Let's finish the lap here. Oh no, I lost it! Right in the final chicane. Well, at least the time still counts. Let's get out of here and still post the lap. Yeah, come on, why do you resubmit? It's so unnecessary. Okay, these were still under 5 minutes. So my first lap was 8 minutes and the second one is already 4 minutes. Okay, that's good enough for me, I think. So, Bugatti any type. Ford Mustang GT3. Oh yeah, I saw that, okay. Nice, interesting. Yeah, the Ford Mustang is a pretty good looking car indeed. I think my favorite current GT3 car. It's actually difficult because I don't really have one that completely stands out. I like the Ferrari 296, although it's also a bit generous. It's, you know, it's not really spectacular. It's just, you know, very cool. I think it is very good looking, but it's not really distinctively a Ferrari to me. And then I also actually like the Chevrolet Corvette. I also like the Porsche 911 GT3R. I really like the Porsche actually. And then the Mustang looks good. I like, well, I wouldn't say the Mercedes GT3. I like the Audi R8. But then of course that's not the current GT3 anymore too. What else? I like the BMW M4 actually. Out of the, it's really hard to be honest. I think, and out of all the GT3s, I actually really like the Ferrari 488. Now, yeah, of course you've got the FIA 488, but there's also the 488 Evo, which I think looks even better than the original 488, but it was only used in the Ferrari Challenge because it wasn't made to the FIA regulations. So I think if it counts, my favorite GT3 car is the 488 Challenge Evo. But that isn't a FIA GT3, it's the Ferrari Challenge GT3. And out of the carbon cars, I would say maybe actually the Porsche, the 911. I really like the Porsche GT3. But then I also really like the Ferrari 296. And I also like the M4. I really can't choose, to be honest. Although that's probably my top three. Ferrari, Porsche, BMW. Yeah. I think that would be my pick. This car really runs stationary. It feels like it sort of keeps rolling a lot. I see it barely slows down. Does it actually? It is actually kind of realistic. See, I'm not actually touching the gas and it keeps like rolling stationary at 11. Now if I would shift up, oh yeah, it does increase the speed actually. I've never noticed that. Is that the case in every car? Because of course that is realistic. Look at that. I didn't think GT7 was that realistic. So yeah, you can accelerate up to 25 without touching the gas. 8 gears? I didn't know that this car has 8 gears. Since when is the Porsche 911 Turbo S has 8 gears? I've never seen that before in this entire game. Wow, that is bizarre. Look at that, we've accelerated to 33 now. Of course it goes downhill a bit here. 34. What? So again. Wait, can I? I can't put in a neutral. It does also stationary go neutral. Look at that acceleration! Good clutch pull. Ha! Damn. Eight gears is crazy. Okay. I keep forgetting the buttons. I need to actually remember because I don't really use this wheel that often. So there's the blinkers, right? Oh wait, it's... Ah yeah, it corresponds with the buttons on my wheel actually. Oh, so... Oh, I've got instant reverse gear with the... Can I change that? Oh, yeah. So I want to change this to something else. So if... I've already got the warning lights. I'm gonna switch that to wipers, and then I'm gonna use the X button to signal, and also change between dim lights and the actual headlights. So, yeah. Right, I don't think I've got many more buttons left, to be honest. Right, okay. Makes sense. I wish I had more buttons on my wheel, to be honest. Alright. Oké, ik heb nu met 5 verschillende auto's een tijd gezet. Alle 5 de auto's van de DLC. Toch weer 100 kilometer gereden. En dan hebben we dus kennelijk nog iets in het café wat is toegevoegd. Dat willen we nog even bekijken voordat we afsluiten. Extra menus. Nee, dat is natuurlijk alleen maar autocollectie. Oké, dat heeft er niks mee te maken verder. Hebben we dan een extra menukaart ook? Daar zie ik niks bij staan. Of waarschijnlijk moet je gewoon een menukaart voltooien voordat de groep 1 race er is. Maar die staat er dus niet bij. Wat is dit? Seizoensmenu. Oh kijk, ja, die hebben we alvast compleet. Maar, oh ja. Dat is mooi meegenomen, dat we meteen het seizoensmenu compleet hebben. Geluksfoutje van 6 sterren. Nou, om de stream af te sluiten, gaan we nu nog eventjes doen dan. Laten we beginnen met de 4 sterren. We waren het beste voor het laatste. Beter is het iets beters. Genesis, Vision GT. En een F3500. We krijgen de Genesis Vision GT. Berlinetta. Op zich, Genesis heeft natuurlijk ook een hypercar tegenwoordig. En dat is best wel een gaaf ding. Ik vind Genesis wel een interessant merk. Ik zag ook een gekke Genesis rijden in Le Mans. Gewoon op de openbare weg. Dat was een auto met echt fucking hoge veren. En gewoon zonder deuren. Die heb ik nog nooit eerder gezien. Helemaal gek. Ik vind dit dan weer niet zo erg mooi. Maar ik vind de Genesis Groep 3 wagen wel mooi. 63, we zijn 4 niveaus omhoog gegaan. Deze stream. Maar goed, dit is waar ik het voor ga beëindigen voor deze Gran Turismo stream. Dus het was wel mooi om even de auto's uitgetest te hebben. En verder zal ik denk nog wel later deze week live zijn met... Ja, eigenlijk, ik weet niet, de daily races geef ik niet zo heel veel om deze week eigenlijk. Dus ik weet niet of ik dat ga doen. Misschien kunnen we verder gaan met de campaign en de powerpack en zo. En oh ja, aankomende zaterdag de 20ste, de 2026 SRL Indy 500. Dat wordt een mooie race, dus stay tuned. Maar goed, ik vond het wel een mooi race van vandaag. Lekker om hem even gereden te hebben. Want na het zien van al die raceauto's in Le Mans begonnen mijn handen wel te jeuken om weer even te kunnen rijden in Gran Turismo. Zeker met natuurlijk de hypercars. Anyway, thanks voor het kijken. Nog een fijne nacht en tot later. Oh, Yassir, you're back. I was just about to end the stream. I like that race with Group 4 if I'm using the Porsche GT4. Yeah, it's good that at least the Porsche Cayman is competitive. I don't like the fact that the Citroen GT is also competitive, but yeah. At least it's not completely the meta car, so that's good. But yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna end the stream shortly because it's getting pretty late. So yeah, Yazir, thanks for tuning in, mate. Hope you enjoy the rest of your evening. And actually, if it is evening, I'm not sure where you're from actually, but I'm assuming that you're from the same time zone. You'll stream soon, nice. Why not? It's always nice to share the experience, put it out there. You're from Morocco. Oh, nice. So you actually live there. Might have asked it before, but then you are, of course, in the same time zone. I'm pretty sure. At least similar. But that's cool. Don't have much to do to get to A+. Nice. You're getting there. It would be possible to do with the controller and cockpit view. I think cockpit view is really hard on the controller, isn't it? Like, I think on the wheel it's fine, but on the controller it's worse. Because on the controller also the wheel animation is not lined up with the wheels of the car. I really dislike it. That would really bug me if I was using a controller. But Giro, I mean, that is amazing. Because I think that's really difficult actually, irrespective of using Giro. Because that's... I mean, I would really find it difficult, to be honest. Ah, you're used to it. Wow. But I think that definitely deserves recognition because I think you're in the minority. I think 99% of Gran Turismo players either use a wheel or use a controller and use the joystick. I've never heard someone using the gyroscope handling. But yeah, indeed, you have a smooth transition to a wheel. Yeah, I mean, you will have probably a smooth transition. Yeah, that is actually a good thought. Yeah. But I think it's gonna be so much nicer if you actually have a wheel compared to the gyroscope. Yeah, it's gonna be a lot more enjoyable. But I think you're gonna be quicker too and more consistent because I think you really have to be precise with the gyroscope. That's so odd. But I respect it certainly. I think you're really in the minority. I assume that like way less than 0% of players use the gyroscopical steering. system. I've never heard that before. I know it exists, but I've never heard somebody use it. I mean, the fact that you're almost A+ with that, that's... Wow. Hats off. Anyway, mate, the best thing I did with the leaderboard... Did I miss something? Or are you about to finish your message? Oh, 2020 worldwide and data is A. Yeah, that is really impressive, especially if it's towards the end of a week. That's really good, and you're definitely very close to perfection if you're that close to the world record. Watkins Glen. Wow, end of the week. Then you're rapid. You're pretty rapid. First circuit was 170. That's, yeah. That must have truly been a really good lap. But yeah, I think you're gonna improve if you buy a wheel and you get used to it. I mean, even on a budget wheel, you can get like a Thrustmaster T150 or I think it's a T98, what it's called, or the T48. I think exists too, or a T300, or even a Logitech G29 or anything like that. I mean, you can get those wheels for not that much. But maybe it's difficult in Morocco, and also, of course, you need a bit of space as well. But you could just clamp it to your desk or whatever. But I think you can get, especially like the Thrustmaster T150 is a bit old, but it's kind of decent. It's you know, it does have force feedback and 1080 degrees of rotation, and I think new it was like 200, but I think nowadays you can probably get it second hand for like 100, I guess, $100. But I guess maybe the prices are a bit different over there. But yeah, at least for now, you're using the pad with the gyroscope. So you'll get an upgrade soon, because I think you're gonna be fast with it, and also I think you're gonna enjoy it more. If you don't get something good like a Fanatec CSL, no need to do it. I mean, I don't necessarily agree, because I started off with a Logitech Driveforce GT back on the PS3, which is like a really low budget wheel, but I loved it because like it had force feedback. It was like straight cut gears, made a lot of noise. It wasn't strong at all, but I really liked it and was almost impressed by it. Even on the PS3 with like Gran Turismo 5 and the old F1 games. And the pedals were super flimsy. They were so light, and also it didn't even have pedal shift. It had like buttons on the back of the wheel. It was all plastic. It was just low quality, but I really loved it. I was like, I was much younger, of course, as well. I was like 12 or 13, but just the feeling of using a wheel and being able to drive smoothly and having the force feedback. You don't need an expensive wheel, to be honest. I mean, and over the years, we've seen many alien sim races on some very basic equipment. I don't think an expensive wheel is going to make you quicker. Oh, you've never played Gran Turismo? Huh? Wait. Not when you were a kid. Because you are playing it now, right? Because you were talking about the Gran Turismo leaderboards. I was about to say that's very contradictory. Need for Speed player. I mean, when I was a kid, I loved Need for Speed as well, to be honest. But then when I got older, I sort of lost interest. Oh, GT7 is your first Gran Turismo. Nice. I mean, back when I was young, I was mainly into the F1 games, to be honest, and Gran Turismo was something that I just sort of enjoyed on the side. And Forza as well. Whenever I was at my cousin's place, he had an Xbox 360. I really loved Forza Motorsport 3. And then before that, I had the Nintendo Wii, and I love games like Mario games, Mario and Sonic, Olympic games, Mario Kart. Yeah, F1 is a bit arcadey indeed. I think the first 4 F1 games were really good, 2010 through to 2013. PlayStation 2 straight to PS5. Wow, I've never had a PS2 actually. I started with the PS3. That must have been a crazy upgrade, wasn't it? Skipping 2 generations. Oh, look at that Corvette. Let's put it up on screen to end the stream. Yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep soon indeed. But I don't mind it, I enjoy the conversation. Look at that shot. I bought this car recently in the Legendary Cars. Hey, it doesn't even have a... It's cool that it doesn't have a driver in it. It actually looks a lot better. Of course, now it does. Yeah, I love these old American cars. The old Corvette. Classic 1950s America. Really reminds me of like the old American movies. Like Grease. Or something like that. Yeah, 1950s were probably the best era in the US. People who drove this in the car were golden times. Indeed. Oh yeah, Ferrari vs. Ford is also a classic. But yeah, indeed, the golden age, like 50s USA, and having like the drive-in cinemas and these kind of cars, and then like the girls skating around, being like the waitresses in those drive-in cinemas, and it really had a charm to it. Also, I would try to get an old school car at least once. Yeah, those vintage cars are really really good looking. The wide wall tires as well. E46 Coupe, nice, the BMW. Let's look it up. Oh yeah, yeah. That's a solid machine, isn't it? That's very nice. I like the BMW coupe models. Yeah, good choice. Very cool looking car. So, what is your absolute dream car if budget wasn't an issue? I did actually watch Netherlands against Japan yesterday, because I just got home back into the hotel after the 24 hours of Le Mans, and I did of course watch how they made it 2 against 2. So they're going to be against Sweden on next Saturday. The Veyron, yeah. Yeah, especially with top speed, of course, the Bugatti Veyron is very impressive. And it's a good looking car as well, definitely. Actually, I don't think I've bought it yet. Let's go to Ben Transfer and buy it, because I remember I got a brand invitation for that. Let's add that to the collection. I mean, I just came back from France, so... Gotta buy a French car. Yeah, look at that. E46 M3 GTR, handling wise. Good shout. What color should we pick? There's quite a few options actually. I love the dual color design. The color of the interior doesn't change. Pearl metallic, polar metallic. Looks pretty clean, but it doesn't really match with the brown interior, does it? White and orange, not really my taste. Nor is pearl and gold. White, coffee, and black. I actually do really like that, to be honest. Koenigsegg Jesko in terms of innovation. Yeah, that is a also good shout. Mocha brown. We're getting into the coffee vibes. White coffee, mocha brown. And silver grey metallic. Grey and gold. Lemon. I don't really like the lemon, to be honest. It's a bit too white. This looks pretty nice. Silver metallic and dark blue metallic. I also like Italian red, definitely. Titanium grey, black metallic, grey silver. Violet. Hazelnut. And walnut. That's actually that looks pretty hot. I actually red and black also really works. Light and dark red. I really love the black and red, to be honest. And also the light and grey blue, that also looks very nice. Actually suits my sweater. The white one, yeah. I also like blue. Light and dark blue. Okay, I'm hesitating. I think the nicest ones are the black and blue, or the black and red, or the light and grey blue. I think black and red or black and blue. Yeah, one of the two. I'm gonna go for black and red, to be honest. Yeah, I think the black and red looks good. Light blue metallic, you're saying? It's a bit too much like pastel colors for me. It doesn't really pop. It sort of just blends in, which is nice. But I think I prefer the contrast. Yeah. Okay, good suggestion. It does maybe feel a bit more luxurious. Okay, so you're saying I should go for this one? It does actually suit what I'm wearing, to be honest. Okay, let's go for the light blue metallic, grey blue metallic, then. Best car I found on the street. Oh wow, I've seen a lot of nice cars on the streets. Last weekend, I mean, I was actually in Le Mans for the 24 hours. And I saw so many nice cars. I've actually seen a Bugatti Veyron on the street once in Zurich in Switzerland, because my mother lives there. So that's pretty rare. And apart from that, I mean, I love Ferrari. I saw lots of Ferraris even yesterday and the day before that. Like, I actually saw a Testarossa on the street. I saw a 458. Or you mean just in Holland? Okay, that changes it. That changes it completely. Actually, I have actually seen a Bugatti Veyron in the Netherlands, but it was many years ago. But I definitely saw one. But only once. I think it was like 10 years ago. And that was the only time I've seen a Bugatti Veyron in the Netherlands on the streets. Apart from that, good question that actually. Apart from that, actually, I've seen a Ferrari 458 on the streets in the Netherlands. That is one of my favorite cars of all time. So yeah, probably the Ferrari 458. And then, apart from that, that's a good question actually. I also actually recently I saw a Ferrari 812 super fast. It actually overtook me on the highway. I quickly got my phone out to get it on my Snapchat, but man, the sound of this car is awesome. I was actually driving. I've got a mini one convertible, so I was driving with the roof off, and oh man, the hearing that Ferrari drive past me and accelerating, it was awesome. You've seen the Ferrari 12 cylinder? It's a close look. Nice. Yeah, I also like the 12 cylinder. Yeah, and the interior. Yeah, definitely agree with that. I saw it too. I was in the Ferrari Museum in Maranello last year. I visited the Grand Prix in Monza as well. But yeah, I think in terms of rarest and most beautiful cars I've seen in the Netherlands on the streets, the Bugatti Veyron, the Ferrari 458, Ferrari 812. It's probably the top three, actually. Yeah. I think those three. Yeah, I do travel quite a lot. Actually, this track over here, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, is also a track which I've been to twice for the NLS races. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go for that. We got the Veon, 548, Ferrari 812. In terms of cars I've seen on the road in the Netherlands. That's the first three that spring to mind, at least. Yeah. Item. I really enjoyed talking to you too, mate. I really appreciate the fact that you joined the stream, went back to watch the football game, and then even came back. That's proper dedication. So I appreciate that, mate. So gonna end it there with this nice Bugatti in the background. So thanks a lot for watching, Yassir. Maybe we can get to do some open lobbies soon. That's a nice idea. We've got Mount Fuji in the background. Alright, have a good night, mate, and yeah, see you next time. Thanks for the chat. See you.